Well, apparently so. I was telling a fascinating story.
Good afternoon. Oh, there we go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the meeting of the Madera County Arts Authority. I would like to call the meeting to order. Are there any additions to the agenda? I'm hearing none. Do we have any other comments on the agenda? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor? Signify by
Aye.
saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Please stand, everyone, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Salute.
Pledge allegiance to the republic, which is
One
one
nation,
nation,
for all. Since I belong to Rotary, we always do the four-way test.
City
So-
engineer,
Yes.
Santos told you use.
Lights are
I'm
on.
sorry.
But don't let the meeting interrupt your discussions.
I'm supposed to.
The Arts Authority
Anyway.
Board is bonding. Item number 3 is public comment. Members of the public may address the board on any item under the jurisdiction of the board not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take any action on any item under public comment. We have public comment today. Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to the public session. Item number 4A is consideration of approval of the minutes of the June 28th meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion of, or corrections? Comment? Public comment about the minutes? Okay, and I'll take it back up here. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, the treasurer's report. We have 4 items under the treasurer's report today, and Mr. Poitras will address each one, and then I will accept a motion to approve the whole treasurer's report as one item. So, Mr. Poitras?
Madam Chair, thank you very much. It's my pleasure and honor to present the treasurer's report. First of all, looking at our balance as of the end of July, we have $76,172 in the bank. You can see our balance sheet as well as our income statement showing revenues and expenses. Item number 2 would be to provide approval to authorize payment of a warrant in the amount of $597 to Lozano Smith Attorneys at Law for legal services. And we have a billing invoice that describes the services and times provided. We also have a warrant in the amount of $630.18, Madera County Clerk of the Board, for clerking services for the months April through June 2021. Also, there is a invoice attached showing the detail. And then finally, we have a prorated payment of a warrant in the amount of $284 to Golden State Risk Management Authority for general liability coverage from 4/23 through 7/1. With that, are there any questions that anybody might have? Any members of the public?
Hearing none, I'll accept a motion for approval of the treasurer's report.
I so move.
Second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Seibert seconded. Any other discussion on the treasurer's report? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 4C is discussion and consideration of the Arts Authority logo design and provide further direction to either provide direction or approve proposed logos. And I think Mr. Negrete is our design person. At the last meeting, he was asked to bring back the logo in a variety of colors, so in a somewhat of a final design. I believe we have that. You've seen them in your packet. So now I'm going to turn it over. Ready? And
Right.
I believe we have a graphic.
So I just redid it in gradients, different gradients from bicolors that are primaries, secondary colors, to a set of a rainbow. It was Pride Month when I was designing this, so I kind of threw that one in there. And my favorite one would probably be number 7. That one actually incorporates 3 high school colors: coyote blue, the stallion purple, and the Torres red. Kind of incorporating the school district as well in the authority there. And it also helps keep it from looking too much like a flame. You can see the orange there might be interpreted as a flame. And also the darker colors seem to stand out a little bit more than the brighter ones, especially against a white background. You can see with the yellow and the purple there, the yellow just kind of fades out there. But these are essentially the different variants that we can use, and I can always create different color schemes as well. So this was the gradient stuff that I was speaking about last time. So besides the solid colors, you can do different colors as
Well, thank you for
Huh?
giving us a variety.
well. Yes.
Now we just need. Oh, okay. Thoughts?
Madam Chair, Nick Salinas, District 3 Chief of Staff. Board Member Villegas also provided some different font iterations that he suggested that he would like to see as part of the logo. So on the screen now, there'll be some fonts that he provided.
Can you blow those up a little bit?
I get my telescope out.
Magnifying glass.
I have the same trouble with the TV.
There you go. This is better than.
There we go. So they're all script looking.
Did you want to share any information, Mr. Villegas, as to?
Yeah, I was thinking to maybe if we can agree and change the font of the name. So, but this is just something came into my mind, but whoever the council decided, I'll be all right.
Thank you for doing that. Right now, the pictures have block lettering, which is the lettering from the Madera County, right? But what do you think about adding a little swirl to it? Something that looked a little like writing. Of course, no one can read.
I'm in trouble.
Well, I was thinking only like more fancy than the
yeah.
name.
Uh-huh.
Like the one is to say black letter, something like that. Yeah. Or anyone. All the ones I put in there, they are good. But that one's very fancy, so I was just thinking maybe they can look very fancy when it's done.
Uh-huh.
But I go with whatever agrees. If not, it's all right.
Anybody have a thought? Leave that to the artist?
Those fonts are also available to me. I can always, I mean, personally, I looked at the list and I seen brush script and it goes with the brush already, so I'm like
Right.
jumping on that one. But
At least you didn't start with the lucid script.
yeah.
I like the brush.
Madam Chair, I was just going to mention in regards to the color schemes for,
Could you flip back to the?
Yeah.
There we go.
you know, I like the logo. It's just that I'm having a hard time, like, really embracing one of the color schemes up there. I don't know why. I mean, maybe the blue is the one I'd probably be attracted to the most, but you know, it kind of looks, I don't know. It's, as far as the colors go, so maybe some other color schemes or some combinations might do something for me where I say, that's it, that's the one, but right now I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I'll echo that. None of the color combinations jumped out and grabbed me. If I were compelled today to pick one, and I don't feel compelled, I'd pick black and white because I think simple is elegance. But it doesn't have to be that. So I wouldn't mind seeing more color attempts or combinations with.
And partly the reason I used gradients was kind of because of the being a brush. So like if you're using a brush over and over again, you kind of get that gradients in there. So that's where you see them kind of like starting to blend in between colors. But we
And I get that, but sometimes I too have been accused of overthinking things.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm with you with the simplicity as well. I mean, one of the new arts is, you know, going on your Cricut and cutting things out, and that's one of the aspects I was thinking of, like, you know, ways to keep the image simple enough to be, let's say, cut out, and also being used in, you know, uniform manners.
Any other thoughts?
Number 3, that light blue background,
Uh-huh.
the light blue part.
Okay. Yeah, that's a
And then maybe a little stronger color on the building.
Oh, I see. Pop the building out.
Yeah, so the gradient is actually applied throughout from the bottom of the logo, which is the Madera County Arts Council or Arts Authority text there, all the way upwards. That's why it kind of looks like some of like the blue, like say in number 7 there, the blue is kind of washed out by the purple in the middle because most of the blue is on the bottom. But I can separate it to where it's just focused on the brush, and the county or the courthouse building can be a different color, same as the text being a different color. In ways like that, maybe it'll help the courthouse pop out, and then the color the color changing being just on the brush itself.
Since I like the black and white, I suspect I would be more likely to focus on primary colors. Because in focusing on brushing out colors, it seems that's a greater emphasis on type of art that's painting as opposed to music or drama or dancing or whatever. And I'm not sure that even by implication to the 5 people who might recognize it.
Yes.
Mr. V, I guess, did you have a thought about it, Mr. V?
I think I said last time, I like the number, what is it? I like the 7 and the 6, also the 5, the black and white. Those 3, I like it.
Those are
For
darker,
me, any of those would be good.
darker color.
And as I mentioned, when I was kind of testing them out, the brighter colors kind of made a sort of a washout. I mean, you could see with the rainbow there that once you hit those lighter colors, the greens, the yellows, the oranges, they kind of get too bright for people's eyes, and that's why I kind of went more towards the darker color. But we can also have, the alternatives where it's just kind of the color form, silhouette black, silhouette white. That's a normal practice for logos as well, just to have the different variants, different uses. If you're, say, on a flyer that you're using bright colors, you might want the black logo to offset it. Same with if you're using dark colors, you might want the white logo to offset it.
Well, you got the logo, change colors
Yes.
along the way in the printing. Kind of like a little color being art authority, like
Mhm.
Got a little color.
little spirit, you know.
And you had mentioned the blue. I believe that's a county blue. It's the secondary county blue there. So I can kind of go more towards that scale of things. Maybe that'll help you guys see it a little bit better. Like I said, I really like the 7 just because it incorporates the high school colors and bringing in the school board into the mix there.
That's good, except, we are
Yes. Well, I was going for the partnerships
the
that.
people that put the money in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I like number 3 because your tree on background of your courthouse is green. Got a blue sky color on the court.
The green and blue. Okay.
Yeah, see the tree that's a tree, right?
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's green. That's nice. You got a blue sky color on it.
Okay. I can see something like that. And I mean, we can, like I said, I can do the objects separately where the courthouse is, say, a solid color with the text, and then the paintbrush just have only the colors there.
Well, if we're shooting for subtlety, then the courthouse should be shades of gray.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably squeeze 50
Talk
of
a
them.
minute about, does any of this make a coloring and pattern make a difference to us? Like letterhead, on thing,
So
else, stop if we try to do something too.
So, with gradient, if you're not going to solid color, then that's where things will kind of get a little bit different. With a letterhead, I'd advise a solid color, just to keep it from any mix-ups, any gradients mix-ups there. Though we can also outline to make it more defined, so that way whatever colors are on it doesn't mix in with the background. So like if it was on a black background, there'll be a slight what's called a stroke, just a little pixel or two of white, and it just surrounds it just to make it pop back out again.
But you're thinking that maybe we could have a fairly simple solid
Mhm.
when we do letterhead and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Then when we go and paint our logo on the building or project,
Yes.
we have a little more latitude.
Yes. And I mean, being an arts authority, I think, being able to swap your colors as you guys like and accordingly. Yeah.
I like that because I was leaning towards either the blue and white or black and white because of the complexities.
Uh-huh.
But then I was wondering, color. Well, and does that make it? So if we had, say, a black and white for our regular tree, is the one that we want.
Yeah.
Swell.
I think your idea has a lot of merit.
Let me turn out to the audience and see if there's any comments, thoughts from the peanut gallery. Nope. Hey, what's the pleasure? What is the pleasure of the board? Would you like to pick a couple, and or would you narrow it down, or would you like to make a motion
Do you want some more examples? I mean, you can use number 5 as a letterhead and use number 3 as when you want some color.
Yeah.
But just change it just a little bit on the building.
Want to make that motion?
I guess I'll make a motion at that.
So we look at number 5 for letterhead, 3 for color, and then maybe adjust the colors. So that's a
How about-
motion.
How about script? You want to add? I like that script. I think you like too.
Okay, and then, Seibert is pointing at the brush script possibility of script. So you want to add that to?
No, it could be separate. I think they better separate it out.
Okay, so let's just do the motion is for a black and white and number 3 colors. And is there a second for it? Second for that.
Guys, for that.
Second.
Well, I stated earlier that nothing really excited me too much. That may be a solid color. I mean, perhaps the number 5 for the letterhead, but I'm not prepared to move forward with, say, the number 3 as far as a color scheme.
Well, there's a basic color. I mean,
It's very basic.
that's the basics around the color, or I don't know. But I'm
I-
I'm not saying that exact color on
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Well, I'm not an artist, and so I've never been accused of being one, or maybe even but I'd still, you kind of know when you see something you like, it's like, that's it. And and I haven't seen that yet.
So is there a second for that motion? Okay, that one dies for lack of a second. Somebody else want to try one?
Chair, I might try that. This particular agenda item is not an action item, it's for direction. And so if this board finds that it fits the conversation to provide a splatter of direction, then maybe our artist can come back with a compilation of the direction that he's hearing, since there may not be a complete motion to make. So my point is, you don't have to have a motion. There can be direction, and if it's not unified direction, then maybe there's a couple of options that have to come back.
Is there any kind of agreement on the background? Go with the colors.
What do you mean by background?
With a blue,
Oh,
like sky blue, and maybe a green where the tree is, and then look for something on the building.
I don't think that's a tree. Isn't that the courthouse tower?
Yeah, that's
it's a clock tower,
That's the
Clock
clock tower?
Yeah.
That's part of it.
but it
I
hasn't
give-
worked in 100 years, so you're to be forgiven.
I personally like it a little darker.
Talk about my humor? Or what?
Yeah, no, the color. A little, I don't know about the 3 colors in number 4. You have the green and is that like a
Oh,
darker?
that's the clock tower. Boy, that tree. It looked like a tree to me.
That tree on the roof. It could be.
I thought it was in the background, behind the building.
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a comment.
Yeah, and Chair, you're right. The agenda does say or approve, so there's options.
Okay, I'm going to, I see that we have a community member. Melanie?
Yes, Tina Unti, Madera. Put them back up. Why don't you consider using the colors, the same colors that you use for the Madera County logo? And you've got some of those same colors up there, but these are much deeper. They're much richer. They stand out more. These tend to be washing out unless it's just one bold color. But if you used these rich ones and made them not, instead of being a gradient, you made different parts of it one of these colors, then it would be cohesive. You would be consistent with what you do with Madera County, and you would also have some colors that maybe showed a little more definition.
You
That's
don't
my
have-
thoughts.
He doesn't have it on a program where you can sit there and change the colors.
But number 3 is along the idea with just a little richer color definition. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 3 has the colors. It just, if it could be just a little,
A little bit more defined.
don't do a
No,
gradient.
no gradient. Gotcha. Okay.
So, Mr. Negretti, just to be a little bit more specific, if possible, I think Ms. Unti's suggestion is a pretty good one. So what I see in the county letterhead is agricultural green, whatever green it really is. It's almost a light Kelly green. Then a darker blue, a light blue, and an orangish color for the sun. So perhaps if you could come back with some appropriate design with at least 3, if not 4 of those
Okay.
colors, that might be of some help.
Okay.
Yeah, I see the, I mean, that's Lincoln-Paddock, it lines up with the county, and county is a member of the organization.
And perhaps next time I'll bring my laptop as well, and then we can mix them up if we need to. So that way we can do some live mixing.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe define that clock tower a little better.
Put a C up there for Mr. Cyber.
Yeah.
Little
Put a
circle
tree on
there.
the side.
Mickey Mouse hand.
You can put a palm tree on the south side. And
Or put a mouse running up, as
Ooh.
we know the mouse is running up.
Couple
Okay.
pixels.
Well, good. So you have direction.
Yes.
Okay. Now the other thing is the script. Is there interest in any one particular of the script? So he could incorporate that into, like I heard Artemio suggest, and Trevor suggested brush script. I like that as well.
Nothing jumps out at me, but I haven't heard anything that I would object.
So you want to try?
But your ideas have merit.
You want to try a brush script? And maybe,
Yeah.
I don't like them. Sorry, I don't like them too swirly.
Yeah. I feel the brush script goes. It kind of flows, and then the logo itself being a brush. Head on. Yeah.
We can see what that looks like.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And like I said, if next time I'll bring the laptop and we'll connect, and I'll see if I can, alter the text and see how they look.
You have
Thank you.
5 non-artistic.
make adjustments while you're here. That sounds good.
Yeah. That way we can settle this, and you guys can have a logo.
We took longer on other things earlier, so
Yeah.
we're moving faster. Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody
you.
else? Okay, we're getting there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's see. So now we're going to switch to item number 4D, which is ad hoc committee report. Your ad hoc committee has been continually busy over the last couple months since the last time we met. We don't have a lot of change in product, but we have lots of new information. Some exciting. Okay. So you saw this if you looked at your packet. I think I'm going to try punch buttons here. Okay. I always like to start this with, remember there are 4 phases to the work we are doing that our consultant gave to us. And our ad hoc committee is working on phase 1, which is to build art downtown, bring people downtown, start with some small scale public art, consider arts related and non-art activities that draw people downtown, and then strengthen our community events and foster more. And we have, I'll just tell you at the outset, we have developed new partners and friends who are also interested in helping with all of this. There are people in town who will benefit in getting more action in the town area. And the park, you'll hear in a little compliment to that as well. More family type activity, more things to do downtown. Okay, and you can see pictures of the kind of things that other communities. Okay, our project number one, our pilot project is Chris Miller from Layton's has, offered to put a mural up in his building on the side of his building. That's our kickoff to creativity, and we're pushing to try to have that done by Old Time. I'll come downtown. The wings. And this we'll be using as our marketing opportunity to build new partner alliances. Because the next step after that is to get more buildings looking at. Okay, so Mr. Miller has reviewed 6 different proposals. There are muralists out there who do good work and are interested in this project. And he's currently finalizing discussions with the top selection. And of course, I said our goal is to have it up by. Do you have any other comments? So that's coming along, and that will give us our good model. Then downtown, actually our pictures show us on Main Street that we walked from the J&J new cafe on Yosemite, which is a real draw, bringing people down. We walked across and went behind those buildings, behind where TJ's Bar and Grill is and all of that, into the alley behind that area. And we were looking for places for murals. And we have the names of business owners, building owners. And we have identified after this walk some places where we could maybe engage conversations with building owners about how they might want to help with a mural project, or in some cases, maybe fixing up their frontage. In the course of that, we found this alley that's like B Street down at the end, and it goes all the way down to E Street, other end, and it has this kind of parking and mess of garbage cans, and it has a couple of parking lots. One next to the other one across the street behind the furniture store and back. And they're really nice. But we ran into these garbage cans. And, you have to have a garbage can. And so we started research. And one of the things we found was dumpster art. So it is possible that our alley can become a walking gallery of art projects. I particularly like, right, over on the second column on the left, it's a little train. Or we could have one of the board members on our committee suggested that we have students from the school. That'll help with graffiti, and it could be a kind of a fun way to dress up the alleyway. And it's something we could get business on. So that's coming up. And then a lovely person named Carla Estupinian has joined our group. And she is the chief of staff for Supervisor Gonzalez. She used to work in Long Beach. And when she was there, they used a company called Powwow. And Powwow is out of Hawaii. That's their base. And they go internationally to help communities determine what kind of mural art they would like to see. So they engage the communities, they engage the business owners, and they engage muralists. They help you find and put together that whole process. One of the fears people have about murals is that it's going to look like graffiti. So far out. They help you get a sense of your community, what they want, and then they get as far as having what they call a festival. That's the day that lots of people paint. So the muralist has it all designed. Buckets of paint come out, and even I could help paint. So it's a community. So we are going to, she is right now trying to work on a call with those people that will have in early October. A little more information to see what they charge and how that might work. But that would really help us a lot. They also help us seek funding. Because if we're going to ask somebody to pay for the mural, it would be nice if we were part of a bigger project and we've got some grant funding. So that's coming down the pipe.
Well, how about these buildings? How many of them are about to be condemned? Need to come down?
Well, that's a good question.
I think that needs to be looked into.
Okay.
I mean, I hear a lot of those buildings are really bad shape and they, it costs too much to repair them. So who looks in that? I guess the city.
I think that's
Planning,
the
huh?
city.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it used to run through redevelopment, which was a way to, take the empty places and the old buildings and tear them down and redevelop. But now we don't have redevelopment. And there's other kind of investment opportunities that deal with downtown as well, that we probably should be looking at, where they can retrofit a building and buy it from you, invest in it. There's also, every once in a while, money from various grant kind of things to rebuild downtown, and in towns like ours.
So what is downtown going to look like 10, 15 years from now? Or plan? Kind of business you want to bring in? I had suggested bringing in the district office down there. Now we got land on Cleveland, but maybe there's a conversation we can trade some land on Cleveland for maybe a district office downtown. I think that would help downtown. I don't know what else is going to help downtown, but that's all I know. But people got other ideas.
Right. I think the city is working on Yosemite, the cleanup and fix up and redesign of that street.
Of the street, yeah.
Yeah, and so if we have more people beginning to come downtown for, then there's going to start to kind of rebuild buildings, clean up. So we're looking at this alleyway and streets between the buildings on Yosemite and Sixth, that kind of corridor, the place that could hold farmer market, music, as a drive-by fundraiser.
Well, you need a master.
Yes.
Because you got more than just Yosemite, the street. You've got parking. You got what kind of businesses you look like. You plan for the future, what that downtown is going to look like. So you got your property owners down there. How are they engaged? What are they thinking? I mean, there's a lot to deal with.
So, Mr. Villegas, you being from the city council,
Yeah, anything, any ideas, they're all welcome. And yeah, that's the main point. A lot of people talking about, well, this rebuild Yosemite Avenue and behind Yosemite North and South. So when people from out of town come and say, well, it's in Madera, okay, it's a me, because it's kind of they need some new, because it's kind of old buildings, some around there.
Right.
So they need some kind of work. So that'd be great if they all agree on that and make it better and looking better. That's the main point.
right? Well, we certainly need the linkage with the city of Madera and master planning for that.
Yeah,
So
I agree with that.
we're looking for you to help us with that link up.
Yeah. What I have to do.
Does the city have a 5, 10, 15-year plan?
I'm not sure about that right now. Trying to find out.
Who is it at the city that we would be talking to? Rodriguez?
Yeah, first with city manager and we can come out with an idea and put it in the agenda and discuss it. Well, city manager goes to city engineer and
Right.
everybody have to agree. So, yeah, anything you guys refer to us, put it in the agenda, we discuss it, we bring it on and have them.
You know, in theory, this is really simple. This is a conversation that I've heard since my wife and I moved here in 1970. And the first barrier thrown up, well, we can't do anything unless the city owns Yosemite Avenue. And we learned after a few years that the city had an opportunity years ago because the state didn't want Yosemite anymore, but it would have cost a lot of money. And for liability purposes and making changes, and the list goes on, so nothing's happened. The good news is that in the last few years, there appears to have been some conversations between the state and the city that perhaps in the relatively near future will make that happen. But you know, this doesn't have to move in a linear fashion, because the question is, okay, let's assume that Caltrans and the city of Madera get together and Yosemite Avenue becomes a city street to everybody's satisfaction. Then what? Well, we can't talk about these buildings that obviously are in many cases dilapidated, don't meet current code, and don't have to unless somebody does some remodeling. And if they're not going to do significant remodeling, and they'd be silly to, then they'd have to meet city code. But some of these buildings are 100 years older, 100 years old and older. And talking about what are the building owners going to do in general, well, we already know the answer to that. They're not going to do anything unless it's financially worth their while. Why would they? So how does it become financially worth their while, and who makes it worth their while financially? Well, perhaps it's the city of Madera, but where does the city of Madera get money for that? State of California? National grants? I don't know. But even if significant monies were available, the question then becomes, does the city of Madera have the strength to do what's necessary to actually revitalize downtown and make it a community that is attractive to everybody in our community? So that takes planning, but planning should have been done by now, but it also takes money, and it takes a backbone to actually enforce the plan. Because we already know that even though we don't know what plan there is or how much it's going to cost or what the plan entails, there's always going to be somebody to object. And that may mean lawsuits. So the question ultimately is, does the community have the strength to do what is necessary? But then somebody will ask the appropriate question, well, what is necessary? We keep coming back to the city of Madera. What you going to do about it? How are you going to do it? I've heard this discussion for
Right. And that's why we
4.5 decades.
And that's why we're looking at the private business building. When Maria Melgar is an owner of 2 buildings downtown, has committed to downtown and fixed up. They look good. They have businesses in them. They're fine and productive. The bank, Crocker Bank, has been completely retrofitted and historically and particularly in a historic great shape. Somebody saw fit to do. Across the street from there, that corner that's owned by the Albertis is great shape and has a Western way, thriving. So, and the Serrano's Furniture is thriving. So there are good bones downtown. And I think that if we can begin to get people down there and clean up some spaces to do things, then it's likely the business. fix my place. Look at what TJ's Bar and Grill did. You know, he just took an empty lot next to the building, and now he's got more business than he's ever had. So, you know, I think that people can see the value of having businesses down there, but you have to spark that.
If I'm going to invest money down there, then I want to know what the plan is. I want to know what the vision of the city is. What can I count on? There's no vision and no plan. Why would I go down?
Exactly. There's got to be a vision. There's got to be a plan. The good news, from my perspective, is that the city has taken a first step by buying that corner lot where the Mace Hotel used to be that burned down 2 years ago. But then the question becomes, okay, what are you going to do with it? But that goes back to Ray's comments about a vision. And it's great that individual property owners are doing this, that, and the other, but I'm not sure that they've done anything to vision. And when I say that, I mean it literally. I don't know. But if we're here talking about it, then if there's a vision, we should know about it. If there's a plan, we should know about it. And we should be working in lockstep with it as an arts authority.
Well, we know that there's no vision and there's no plan for downtown at this time. I mean, the only vision was Vision 2025 that was more of an encompassing for the community and so forth. So there's nothing, absolutely zero, as far as things going downtown. And that's the reason we're focused on this MCA Phase 1 work. We're looking to define and implement small-scale public art projects. And that's why, you know, brought up the dumpsters. Because regardless of what happens to the buildings, we're still going to have dumpsters. And we're, you know, looking at those things to bring people downtown. And we're looking to strengthen community events. And those are things we can do without, you know, say a master vision. And I think moving on to the agenda, we've got things going on in the park, which there is a plan for, which is a good thing. So I think there's still things we can do, but it's this. If we're waiting for a major vision, major plan for downtown, we're going to be waiting a long time.
Well, we've got to encourage the city council to create a plan. Because if we're going to take this step, well, then they need to get on the wagon too here and start, you know, doing some planning, seeing what business they can bring in. I mean, otherwise, you know, we'll do this and then there won't much happen. But we need to get the city engaged in creating a vision and a plan.
So how best to get the city? Do we have another ad hoc group that's down with the city?
Well,
we've got the group right here. I mean, you know, we've got our city representatives. So I think what we need to do is to, you know, have you may want to report back about this meeting and how we're interested in seeing a long-term plan for the city. And I think that'd be appropriate.
I've had
Otherwise,
conversations with Mr. Rodriguez, and I think he's, you know, he'd be more than willing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The city manager is working hard on the safety lots. Try to purchase it to be part of the owned by the city of Madera. I'm not sure about the one over here in the hotel, the one up or not, but I think I heard something working on in that one. So, but I will talk to Santos, and I'll also talk to city manager. See if we can. I told her about what you guys are
Good.
planning, and so.
And we're happy
we
to sit
can,
down.
bring
Happy
get
to
some
sit
more
down.
information from the city to you guys, and hopefully maybe next meeting now. But
Okay, good,
I'll try.
great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, one last piece of whoopee. One last piece that we've got going on, this is really exciting, is the courthouse park renovation is going on. A representative at the redesign meetings has been our own Mr. Whelan. You want to comment a little bit about it or tell them what the process is?
Oh, when you and I discussed it before the meeting, you asked me if I wanted to comment. I said no. But I will.
I wanted a public statement. I knew you'd have time to think about it.
Yeah, really. I was one of a dozen or so people who showed up for a meeting with the consultant hired by Madera County to give guidance and towards what the Madera County Courthouse Park was going to look like in a year and a half, maybe 2 years at most. And you see some of these drawings that are just representative. They're not actually carved in stone, figuratively speaking, but members of county staff attended, members of the city staff attended, members of the county historical society were there. The meeting took place in the old county courthouse run by the historical society now, and other persons were there, including the county librarian. So there were people who were asking questions that literally had to do with water. Where's the water going to come from? And talking about past issues with water and how they're going to be corrected. What is there now in the park that may be there in the future? And the answer is, well, there is kind of a stage there. And the future, I think most people wanted, would incorporate an amphitheater of some kind. Bathrooms, there are some bathrooms there. The question is, would they stay there? And the answer is, well, most likely, but that's not carved in stone, but they would be improved, and there might even be additional bathrooms. Who's going to use it? Not the bathrooms, but the park, and of course, anybody in the community who wants to. Because in addition to the amphitheater and public benches and a covered patio as depicted in these drawings, there would be landscaping and opportunities for children to play, playground equipment of some kind. There was some discussion as what and why and for whom and would they be safe, etc. So you can tell from my vague comments that it was a general meeting designed to get input for the consultant from community folks who were there to add to information the consultant had already been provided, with another meeting, Nick, I think, tentatively scheduled for September 9. I'll let you know. I'm going to be out of town then, so I won't be there. But it was actually an interesting committee because of the breadth of the experience of the people there, including retired county employees who actually had a responsibility for that park when they were still working for the county and maintaining it and taking care of water pipe issues and maintaining the restroom. And, those of you who've been involved in county and city government who've had to deal with public restrooms now know how expensive those facilities can be in building, constructing, and maintaining, but they're a necessary part of public gathering place. So it is extremely preliminary. If I've left something out, Nick, that needs to be shared, perhaps you could fill in the blanks. But
Good, thank you. You're going to make a big X through it. This would be Yosemite Gateway, cutting across the park and then back down to Yosemite. Gazebo in the middle. You're going to take out what's there and covering now and raise it up so we could have a gazebo at least. Things, and that would be a centerpiece. People could be walking in the park, maybe having lunch. There might be food trucks and stuff, but people can get out and about. A play area here, which people think is pretty exciting because families can then come and bring their kids And they want that architecturally to kind of fit with the old theme of the courthouse museum, which is going to stay here. This part of the park here, that's not on the map, is going to stay as it exists. So everything in front of and on the freeway side of the courthouse stays. This is about the redesign of this frontage park here and the new parking lot. So I think it's got lots of potential to bring downtown. That's good. These are little like pocket park sitting areas here. Plenty of places for public art, plenty of places to do things.
Looks like places for birds.
Yeah, I think they've driven them out of downtown now.
Nick Salinas, District 3 Chief of Staff. The only other item that comes to mind was our county librarian has an interest in incorporating some of her programs into the park, particularly along the walkways. They have a grant for some funding that'll have, I don't know if it's going to be the QR codes or if it's actually going to be stories, but as you walk through the park, there's different pages in a book that you can read while going through the park, and they also have activities with the schools that currently come to the library that they'd like to have the kids taken down to the park and spend some time in the park too. Aside from the park updates, the only other item was in regards to the dumpster art project. I spoke with the Public Works manager, Lieutenant Voss, and he gave it a thumbs up. He really liked the concept and the program. We got the information over to Mid-Valley Disposal, and that's currently being discussed at the owners. The owners are discussing the project and what it would entail in there, and so hopefully we can come together with the project. And I've also looped in Joetta Fleek at the school district to see about the kids having an interest in doing some of the art on the dumpsters too. That'll complete my report.
So one day we're going to buy paint and we're going to get started, but right now we're trying to explore all the options we have available and figure out where we're going to start. So at least we can begin to build some enthusiasm down.
All right.
And then if we can get the city hooked in, that's our like phase 2 projects. It's coming along.
Yeah, I just hope you guys figure a way to keep birds out of that park.
I think they've done a good job downtown. The birds are living somewhere else now.
We'll put up signs. Birds not welcome.
I look at the cement where I park sometimes down there, and it don't look like they're gone.
We'll have a,
Terrible.
a speaker say, birds, stay away or something,
Maybe
public announcements.
We're going to call that
bet a
bird
cannon goes off every 5 minutes or something,
Birds not welcome, yeah.
Okay, so that's where we are right now. If there's nothing else from this group, I would suggest that we skip September, October, the fourth Monday in October, and hopefully we'll have more. Maybe we'll have some word from the city council.
Right. At least, but it just to capsulize that. I'm glad we had this discussion about long-term things, but I think that again, the fact that we do have phase 1 work, it gets us going. It gets us out of the starting blocks. It allows us to start getting some momentum, finish a few smaller deals without having to, again, rely on other parties to have this grand scheme.
Right.
Agree.
I was derelict in my duties and didn't give public a chance to comment about the courthouse park and downtown work. Anybody? They're all on the committee. Do you have any comments? Okay, great. So then our next meeting would be the 4th,
25th.
yeah, 25th?
No.
Does that work? Okay.
October 25th.
October 25?
It's already scheduled.
Yes?
How we're going to be available that day?
Okay, you should have an alternate. So would you check with either Santos or Mr. Rodriguez and find out if an alternate was chosen? Each one of us has an alternate in case we can't.
Yeah. I have these plans for a long time. I'm going to leave 22nd. I had to be there on the 25th. It's on a Monday. Mexico.
Okay.
And after the 25th, I will come back 8 of 29 or 30 before the end of the month.
Okay.
So, but a specific day, the 25th, that's when I have to be there. I have like a court case to go.
Okay.
But I
That's
come
cool.
back 2 days after that case.
I thought I was going to miss that meeting, but I'll be back in time. Okay. There's no other business. This meeting is adjourned. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming. And if you're interested in coloring up downtown.
All right.
Yeah, we sat in a.